Hello and welcome to my studio. I am Kristen Olson Stone, and this is my channel, my YouTube channel for all things art. I do watercolor painting videos and oil painting videos. Today I'm going to show you how to paint a tropical themed card. You could call it a holiday card or a Christmas card because the colors are mainly red and green. And I'm going to be using one of these Canson Montval watercolor cards. These are 5 inches by 7 inches, and the paper weight is 300 GSM. They're really nice cards. I enjoy painting on this paper a lot, and they come with beautiful envelopes. And the envelopes also have a deckled edge, which is a nice touch. So I begin by doing the drawing in pencil. And then I use an archival ink pen. So this is a TWSBI Diamond 580 ink pen, and it's refillable. And I use D. Atramentis archival ink. So it's a wonderful pen. And when I do these cards, this is how they fold. I do the drawing on one side, and then I usually put something on the back. So I wrote Happy Holidays, and then I usually put a hand-painted watercolor card by Kristen Olson Stone. So let's get started. I'm going to be using a set of Rembrandt paints. These are professional watercolor paints. This is a 24 color set, and I'm using a Silverbrush Black Velvet brush in a number 8. When I paint something that's primarily red and green, I typically paint the reds first and the greens second. My goal is always to have nice, clean colors. And so when I paint the red first and then the green second, I'm sure to leave a little bit of a white space in between where the red meets the green. So the inside of this anthurium has a nice deep red center. So I started with an orangish red, which was cadmium red. And now I'm using Madder Lake Deep, which is a crimson red, similar to alizarin crimson or carmine. So you want a cool red, or a red that leans towards purple on the color wheel, and then an orange red for contrast. So now I'm going to pick up some cadmium orange, and I'm going to brighten this side with a little bit of cadmium orange. This anthurium is definitely the center of interest in this flower bouquet. Now I'm going to pick up some permanent red violet, and I'm going to add a little bit of that down here. So I want a nice variety of reds from cool to warm in just this one flower. So while I have this cadmium orange, I'm also going to use some of that in the Bird of Paradise. So it has petals that come out of the top. And I'm going to use a little bit of Azo Yellow Deep so that this orange is slightly different from the orange in the anthurium. So the anthurium has a center, and I'm going to use cadmium yellow for that. And again, I'm not letting the stroke of yellow paint touch any of the red. I want to leave that little white halo in between, and this keeps my colors really clean. So this is cobalt blue, and I'm going to add a little bit of violet, permanent red violet, to the base of that. So there are a few other places where you can see some red anthuriums. There is one peeking around the back here. And these are all going to be painted in a more impressionist style because this one is going to be the center of interest. So I'm just making a few indications of red, and I'll add a little bit of orange. Then there's a beautiful pink hanging heliconia. So I'm mixing permanent red violet and Madder Lake, and I'll paint this pretty pink color. And then there's another anthurium. This one is mostly green. Not that we have to do it exactly like the picture, but I do love the colors in this photo. This photo was taken by me at the Grand Hyatt on the island of Kauai in Hawaii, and it was just a beautiful bouquet in the lobby, and I took some pictures of it, and this was the best one. So that is it for the reds and pinks in the flowers. And oh, now I'm going to put some blue on this bird of paradise. I'm using cobalt blue again. There's also a little bit of turquoise. So I'm going to use some cerulean blue for the turquoise color. And then the top of it is slightly pink. So many gorgeous colors just in one flower. So while that's drying, I'm going to work on the vase. So the vase in this picture is a really deep purplish sort of burgundy color. So I'm going to use mauve plus permanent red violet. If you don't have mauve, you could also use quinacridone purple bluish. That's a great color. But in this set, comes with mauve. So I'm going to put this color down by itself first. And then to show some of the reflections or reflected light in the vase, I'm also going to use some ultramarine deep and just kind of make a few swirly marks on the vase. Give it a little character and interest. I'm also going to use this same color in the shadow on the table. So I've used ultramarine blue plus mauve and permanent red violet for this color of the shadow on the table. And I'm going to mix also a little bit of yellow ochre with it. So I'm letting the yellow ochre mix in with the violet right on the paper. And now I'm going to take yellow ochre by itself and paint the table. I want a nice, warm, yellowish, wood-colored table. And I'm going to put a few strokes of that here in between the shadow colors in the front. Now it's time to paint the greens. I'm going to use sap green and paint these pretty bright leaves in the front. These beautiful palm-shaped leaves. And I'm mixing a little bit of cadmium yellow with my green where I want it to be warmer. And I'm going to use that color in this anthurium. And I'm going to mix even more yellow with it. And that same yellow I'm going to use on the one in the background and this one that's also in the background. So for the palm leaves that are coming out and sticking up, I want to use a bluer green. So I'm using phthalo green mixed with sap green. Phthalo green is a bluish green, and I'm even going to make it bluer by mixing some ultramarine blue with it. So whenever you paint anything with greens, you want to be sure that you have a variety of greens, meaning you have some blue greens and some yellow greens. So there are also some blue greens under the ones in the foreground here, but they're much lighter in value. So I rinsed my brush and I'm using a lot more water to lighten the blue. And I'm going to add a few dark green accents in the background. And I forgot about this part of the anthurium. And I'm going to add a little more yellow to this green. And now my painting is almost complete. I just want to brighten it up a little bit more, so I'm going to add some yellow. So I've picked up some cadmium yellow, and I'm just going to go around the edges of my greens, and you'll see how it's sort of like dropping in a little bit of sunshine and putting a nice glow, as if there's golden light coming from behind. Just kind of gives it a really pretty look. And I'm going to put one final touch, which is a little bit of glow right behind my table. And I did that with Azo Yellow Deep. Please like and subscribe to this channel and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.